Have you ever felt like you're stuck in the same place, even though you're trying so hard to make progress? Maybe you've set goals for yourself, but no matter how much effort you put in, you're not seeing the results you hoped for. Or perhaps you're avoiding trying something new altogether because you're worried you'll fail, that you're just not cut out for it. Well, what if I told you that the real reason you're feeling stuck has nothing to do with your abilities and everything to do with your mindset? The good news is that this is something you can change starting today. In fact, moving from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset could be the most important shift you'll ever make in your personal development journey. Why should you stick around for this video? Because today we're not just talking theory. We're giving you actionable steps, real-world examples, and science-backed techniques that will help you transform your mindset and ultimately your life. Let's kick things off by explaining what we mean by fixed and growth mindsets. These terms were coined by psychologist Dr. Carol Dweck, who spent decades researching why some people succeed while others struggle. What she discovered is that the way we perceive our abilities can shape every aspect of our lives. So what exactly is a fixed mindset? It's the belief that your intelligence, skills, and talents are set in stone. You're either born with certain abilities or you're not. And no amount of effort can change that. If you've ever caught yourself thinking, I'm just not good at math, or I'll never be able to speak in public, that's a fixed mindset in action. You believe that your abilities are limited, and that leads you to avoid challenges or give up easily when faced with obstacles. On the flip side, a growth mindset is the belief that your abilities can be developed through hard work, dedication, and perseverance. When you have a growth mindset, you see challenges as opportunities to learn. You're not afraid of failure because you know it's just part of the process. In fact, you seek out challenges because you understand that's where real growth happens. Now, the beauty of all this is that your mindset isn't fixed. You can change it. You can move from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, and that's exactly what we're going to help you do today. One of the most important shifts you need to make to develop a growth mindset is to start embracing failure as feedback, not as a reflection of your worth or intelligence. Let's break this down. In a fixed mindset, failure feels like a confirmation that you're not good enough. If you fail a test, your mind says, see, you're just not smart. If you bomb a presentation, you think, I'm not cut out for public speaking. But here's the thing, failure is a normal, even necessary part of the growth process. It's not the end of the road, it's a sign that you're on the right track. Here's a practical example. Did you know that Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before he successfully invented the light bulb? Most people would have given up after the first few failures, but not Edison. He famously said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That's the growth mindset in action. He didn't see those failures as proof of his inadequacy. He saw them as valuable lessons on his way to success. So the next time you face a setback, instead of thinking, I failed, try thinking, what can I learn from this? This small mental shift turns failure into an opportunity to grow. It removes the fear of trying again because failure is no longer something to be ashamed of. It's something to embrace. And speaking of failure, I'd love to hear about your experiences. What's a time when you failed at something but learned a valuable lesson from it? Drop a comment below. Your story might just inspire someone else who's struggling right now. Now let's talk about a tiny word that has the power to completely transform your mindset. Here's the thing. So many of us are quick to say, I can't do this, or I'm not good at that, and we shut ourselves down before we even try. But when you add the word to those sentences, everything changes. Instead of saying, I can't do this, you say, I can't do this. That one word opens up a world of possibility. It reminds you that you're on a journey. And just because you can't do something right now doesn't mean you won't be able to in the future. Take a moment and think about the things you've accomplished in your life. Were you always good at them? Probably not. Maybe when you first started learning to ride a bike, you fell down a few times. Maybe when you started a new job, you made some mistakes before you got the hang of things, but you didn't give up. You kept going until you got better. That's the power of. It keeps you in the game. Even when things get tough, it gives you permission to be a work in progress. I'll give you a personal example. When I first started this YouTube channel, I had no idea what I was doing. My first few videos were awkward, poorly edited, and honestly pretty cringe-worthy. But instead of saying I'm not good at making videos, I said I'm not good at making videos. And guess what? Over time, I got better. I learned new skills, improved my editing, and here we are today. So the next time you catch yourself thinking, I can't do this, stop and add to the end of that sentence. You'll be amazed at how much more motivated and open to growth you'll feel. Now let's talk about something that's a little counterintuitive, celebrating effort over results. I know it sounds strange. After all, aren't results what really matter? Well, yes and no. Of course, results are important, but when you focus too much on them, you can fall into the trap of believing that your worth is tied to the outcome. This is the hallmark of a fixed mindset. But when you celebrate effort, you acknowledge that the process is just as important, if not more important, than the end result. You start to value hard work, persistence, and resilience. And guess what? When you focus on effort, the results usually take care of themselves. Let me tell you about an experiment conducted by Dr. Carol Dweck, the psychologist who pioneered growth mindset research. In this study, students were divided into two groups. One group was praised for their intelligence, you're so smart, while the other group was praised for their effort, you worked really hard. What happened? The students praised for their intelligence became afraid of taking on challenges. They didn't want to risk failing and losing the label of being smart, but the students praised for their effort. They thrived. They actively sought out harder problems, and when they failed, they kept going because they valued the process of learning, not just the outcome. So, celebrate your effort. Did you put in the work today? Even if the result wasn't perfect, did you show up and try even if things didn't go exactly as planned? That's progress, that's growth, and that's something worth celebrating. Take a moment to think about something you've been working hard on lately, even if you haven't seen the results you want just yet. Drop it in the comments below. I want to celebrate your effort with you. Next up, redefining success. In a fixed mindset, success is often defined by perfection. It's about getting everything right, achieving the highest possible standard, and never failing. But that's a recipe for stress, burnout, and stagnation. When success is defined by perfection, it leaves no room for mistakes, learning, or growth. In a growth mindset, success looks very different. Success isn't about being the best or never failing. It's about learning, improving, and taking consistent steps toward your goals. It's about progress, not perfection. Here's a practical exercise you can try. Take out a piece of paper and write down what success means to you. Now here's the catch. Don't make it about achieving specific outcomes. Instead, define success in terms of effort, growth, and persistence. For example, instead of writing success is losing 20 pounds, you might write success is making healthy choices each day and moving my body consistently. Instead of success is getting a promotion, you might write success is consistently improving my skills and taking on new challenges at work. By redefining success in this way, you're giving yourself permission to grow. You're allowing yourself to make mistakes, learn from them, and keep moving forward without the pressure of having to be perfect. Here's a critical point that often gets overlooked. Your environment plays a massive role in your mindset. If you're surrounded by people who have a fixed mindset, people who are afraid of challenges, who shy away from effort, who avoid failure at all costs, that mindset can rub off on you. But when you surround yourself with growth-oriented people, you start to adopt their mindset. You start to see challenges as opportunities, and you become more open to learning and growth. Think about the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they growth-minded? Do they encourage you to push yourself, to embrace challenges, and to see failure as feedback? If not, it might be time to seek out new relationships that will support your growth. This doesn't mean you have to cut people out of your life entirely, but it does mean being intentional about who you allow to influence you. Seek out mentors, friends, and communities that are committed to growth. Join online groups, take classes, and connect with people who share your desire for self-improvement. Remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, so choose wisely. Here's a final tip that's absolutely crucial to developing a growth mindset. Practice self-compassion. So many of us are incredibly hard on ourselves when we fail or make mistakes. We beat ourselves up, compare ourselves to others, and sometimes even give up entirely because we're convinced we're not good enough. But self-compassion is key to growth. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend who's struggling. Instead of saying, "I'm terrible at this," you say, "It's okay, I'm learning, and I'll get better with time." Instead of dwelling on your mistakes, you forgive yourself and focus on what you can do differently next time. Research shows that people who practice self-compassion are more likely to persevere in the face of challenges. They're less likely to give up and more likely to keep pushing forward because they're not afraid of failure. They know it's just part of the process. So the next time you catch yourself being overly critical, pause. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that growth takes time. Be kind to yourself and trust that with effort and persistence, you'll get there. Shifting from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset isn't a one-time decision. It's an ongoing practice. But once you make that shift, everything in your life begins to change. You start to see challenges as opportunities. Failure becomes a stepping stone, not a roadblock. And you begin to realize that your potential is far greater than you ever imagined. So if you're ready to continue growing, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who could use a little mindset shift in their life. And let's keep this conversation going in the comments. What's one thing you're going to do today to embrace a growth mindset? Thanks so much for watching, and remember, growth is a journey, not a destination. Every step you take brings you closer to the person you're meant to be. See you